Parking violation.
Valid, actually.
Here we are. Oh, damn. Local Toast scooped that up with a quickness. All right, I'll meet you at Mission Row. I'm just going to need a minute.
Again, Class 2's on scene. Vehicle has been flagged. Remy, could I get you to take some pictures, please?
24th, 23.
Hey, all day.
All right, I'm just going to run to the bathroom real quick, and then I am good.
Yep.
Another vehicle, Cloud City.
Ridge, thank you for the 75 months. I appreciate it. Kenzo, thank you for the 51.
Okay. Be advised, Idiot just drove by, said they have TJ hostage. Nah. So I'm not sure if they'll get involved or what's going on.
Where am I over here?
Just keep an eye out for that. He was in that red vehicle that was on scene over at Forum.
Kirby.
As for jewelry store, I've only seen 2 suspects inside so far. That bank truck's over at the place, La Fuente Blanca.
There's 2 suspects inside. They're wanting free passes, no spike strips. They are ready to go. I'm gonna do pursuit orders 424. I guess I'll go secondary. And then which one of y'all want to be charged and which one of y'all want to be taken hostage?
I'm fine with taking a hostage.
Okay. Remy, you will be tertiary. We got everything documented, everything like that, right?
The 9? Oh, the vehicle's flagged. Yes, yes.
Okay, fair. I gotta hit this thing one time to repair, and I'll be ready.
Am I still on radio? Oh, I'm not sure. Anyways.
I can hear you on radio.
Not on radio.
Okay, well, my arm's just like this.
Well, I hear him on radio.
Until now, 1 second there, they're taking off the Watts Progress from a jewelry store westbound Portola. And then right northbound Dorset traffic light. Weather is clear. Right northbound South BDP. In eastbound South BDP. BCB around the corner.
Image Holy eastbound. I'm in southbound east one, just here. Sorry, I clipped the tree.
All good.
I'm just gonna head to the foot of
I'm
Blanca
back.
and catch them there.
One thing was crazy quick.
I've arrived. Hey, I'm okay. All right.
Okay. Right. So, for first thing, that whole conversation with ADMC strangely mirrors a conversation I had with Shang and Cora, where Jonah showed up and started talking as well. Jonah, shift 2 sergeant. And now he made the comment that if anybody on duty questions me or anything like that, I am just going to send them off duty. Now, I want to get your take on that. Somebody is questioning, you know, why you were doing something as a police officer. Are you going to take offense to somebody disagreeing with a decision you're going to make?
What's the actual context? What was the call he made, and why was he upset?
There wasn't. That was the whole conversation. The whole conversation was him telling me, because I was saying, look, if I think somebody's doing something wrong, I'm going to say, hey, you know, I disagree with why you're doing that. Can you explain that to me? Like, why you're doing something that way? And he goes, if somebody did that to me, I'm going to send them off duty.
I think that's a very I'm not looking for the word immature. I think that's a very short-sighted way of dealing with something. Because like what they're forgetting entirely is that if what they're doing is correct and legal, and other officers have a means to do the exact same thing and utilize that as a learning experience, they should. Now, full disclosure, I don't ever think that someone should approach someone under the assumption that they're doing wrong, as much as it is like, you know, help me better understand so I know if, you know, if I'm overlooking something. Because if someone is approached immediately sort of sideways, and they're, you know, sort of being questioned regarding what they're doing, and it's clear that it's about, you know, something that they believe was done wrong, I can see why someone would act out that way. I wouldn't personally, but I can see why someone other than me would. But I mean, so just to clarify, is this about the situation with the vehicle?
No, this was something completely different.
Got it. No, I don't think that should ever be. I guess it depends. In the moment, I don't think anybody should be questioning anybody else's call as long as it's someone who has context of the situation and is in good faith making that call, and potentially having to convey it with limited information in limited time. Because I don't want people second guessing if I tell them to do something. There's likely a reason I'm telling someone to do something. However, it also depends on the severity of the call and what context I have. If I just became 10-8, there's a 78 call, and I'm being told, shoot the guy with a black shirt. Like, while I see a person running with a black shirt, I'm sorry, but that's like still incredibly vague because I myself was not present to have the context or even know if this person was involved. I'm not just going to shoot any person with a black shirt. You know what I mean? Like, that matters. But I don't like the general sentiment of, I will just send someone off duty if they question me. I think that's, again, very short-sighted, and is a long-term negative, because you can't just assume that anytime you're questioned that it's like someone is second-guessing you, when it could very easily be, well, not even just in good faith. The fact that the possibility exists that someone is asking for the sole purpose of trying to better themselves as an officer to figure out, like, if I didn't come to that conclusion, what brought them to that conclusion so that I can, learn from this and moving forward, do the same thing if it's appropriate, of course. Yeah. So yeah, I would never take that as. I'm still so confused. When did he say that? Did he say it to you?
Yes.
When?
I was a couple of weeks ago. Because I was sitting there saying, that sometimes I don't agree with calls that are made, And if I see someone who I think is doing, you know, dodgy police work or something like that, I'm going to go up to them and, you know, like, hey, can you explain to me why you did that, or and something like that. And he just said, yeah, if somebody did that to me, I'm going to send them off duty.
On what basis?
I don't know. That's what I was trying to figure out. But this was, yeah, in front of Shang and Cora at the time.
Wait, hold on. So you were present for the conversation with Jonah, and this was in front of Shang and Cora. They gave a hypothetical, and he's saying if he was second guessed, he would send them off duty?
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful.
That's a concerning tag for me, honestly.
Yeah, no, Now, here's the thing. I thought this was a personal conversation with you.
No.
Because here's the reality. What he says to other people kind of has no bearing. But, like, if it actually did happen, I would take issue with that, 1,000%.
Yes.
But if he's just saying these things to other people, well, I mean, listen, I've done my fair share of spreading propaganda, but, like, much like that guy, I pretended to respond to a call just to get out once I realized who he was.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to know. It's not important for him to know. I just didn't want to, like, I don't know if you saw the female to his left or right. She looked nervous.
Very much so, yes.
And his demeanor and the way he spoke, like, nothing sort of, like, wavered. Not like there was the way he was questioning me at the beginning. What's your name? Matt. Last name Rhodes. And like,
there was
what are you doing? Like, what do you
said.
do? Like, it was all sort of set up to figure out my day to day, and like an attempt to do something. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Which is why, like, while I still entertain the conversation, despite not having to, I'm also not going to explain, like, I guess I don't have an obligation, rather, to explain every last detail of our job to them. Now, did I do so in good faith? Sure. Have a good one. But I don't know. Jonah doesn't cross me as the if anyone second guesses me, I'm going to send them off duty type. Maybe, again, it was for the sole purpose of not providing them any additional information. That's the only thing I can think of, because Jonah is not that person.
Right, y'all have a good one.
Have a good one. But yeah, I was very concerned just because I had originally thought this was, again, while you may have been present for the conversation, it wasn't towards you. And I think at the end of the day, everyone has a different sort of way of dealing with stuff. And the thing that I try to stay true to is that, again, no one, and I made this clear when I said this, because this was also when I was understanding who this was. When I make a call, or when I do anything in the department that can be sort of considered a consequence, whether it be just a conversation, DAPs, fired, being fired, suspended, whatever the situation is, I'm a firm belief that, again, no one should ever be surprised, because if you did something wrong, and it's so egregious that you deserve being fired, you likely went into that situation full well knowing that you could be losing your job. And that's something that I don't need to communicate beforehand. It's expected, right? You're expected to be on duty. You're expected to breathe. You're expected to open your eyes and see the fucking details in front of you. Like, we don't need to outline that you can't be corrupt. Like, this isn't you have a slap on the wrist that you can use at any point in time, and then you go and sell fucking guns to a gang. Like, it doesn't work that way. You know going into that's going to be like an egregious example of corruption. But for anything less than that, number one, I try to always think the best of people, in that, I mean, hell, even in the situation that you're explaining, like, or we're explaining, like, again, I'm sitting here thinking in my mind, like, that doesn't sound like Jonah to me, and immediately sort of come to the conclusion that, like, maybe he did it for the sole purpose of just ending that conversation. Because he doesn't feel as though he owes anyone that explanation outside of the police department. Maybe it is actually how he would attempt to deal with something. And while I don't agree with it, and I think it's short-sighted, you know, if that's how someone wants to be perceived, by all means, go ahead and do it. But unfortunately, he would be doing nothing but shooting himself in the foot, because he then becomes someone who's unapproachable, and unwilling to elaborate on what they did to help others better understand. And that's not a good quality of someone in leadership. Yeah. And so when it does come sort of back, sort of kind of on topic, to me wanting to ensure that no one's surprised. If they are surprised, that means we failed our job somewhere along the line in communicating certain things. Like, straight up. Like,
yeah.
If you mess up paperwork, it's going to be a conversation at first, right? You miss a charge, not the biggest deal in the world. But if it becomes a consistent behavior, after having a conversation once or twice, you're probably going to get daps for it afterwards. And if it continues, probably more daps, maybe even leading up to a suspension, right? But again, you shouldn't be surprised based upon the few verbal warnings you got beforehand.
Yeah. No, I get
that. We're all human. We all make mistakes. Listen, in a murder case, I have fucked up paperwork. Not intentionally. Long story short was, I think it was the Dominic Rhodes case with a murder. And I had Sean McQuillan in custody, and I put his gun into the locker, and the local workers never put it in evidence. There was an issue at the time, and I ended up getting called and interviewed by marshals as a result of that. If I did my due diligence and double and triple check to make sure that it was there, like 100%, I take full responsibility for that, and I got dapped for it. And it also wasn't my first time that I fucked up paperwork, because in shift 3, sometimes there's 2 officers on duty, sometimes there's 10. And when it's call after call after call, you sort of have to pick and choose your battles. And sometimes, considering 90% of our paperwork never gets seen again after, the first 48 hours, sometimes that's the corner that you have to choose to cut. And it's not ideal. It's not perfect. But I knew full well going into that, after the conversations I'd had with Sky, with Frost, with Alice, with Lucas, like, if it happened again, there was gonna be daps. But But Alice, when I approached Alice to dap me on certain things, just like Davenport did the other day, he's like, "Oh, I didn't charge for Oxy. Someone's gonna have to dap me." Like, Davenport knows what he did wrong. Like, Davenport, don't let it happen again. And sort of a funny bantery tone, but like, listen, you get a slap on the wrist, as long as it's not repeated behavior. We don't really care.
Yeah, I did that with Chance the other day. I did a class 1 instead of a tampered firearm, and I called Chance and I gave the wrong charge. Yes, okay, don't do it again. It is what it is.
Yeah, 100%. Ain't none of us perfect. Not a single one of us. We're all capable of making mistakes, and again, that specifically, though, is why people in leadership should never shy away from explaining their thought process on certain things. Again, I think an active serious calls, where you're fully aware of the situation and a call to shoot is made, for example, and you know for certain it's the person in front of you that they're calling out needs to be shot, like, you shoot, no questions asked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very
But
much so.
if you don't have that context and you're arriving from a different channel and you do need clarifying questions, like, absolutely ask, unless you are specifically being told that person directly in front of you on this street, you know, BCSO unit, and let's say they even call out from everyone the number on your car, like, and the call to shoot's already been made, yeah, at that point you have no excuse to not. But if it's a situation in which there's time to explain shit, there's no excuse not to.
Yeah.
I just, I don't, man, it really bothers me that it was like, because again, I don't view Jonah in that way at all.
Yeah,
but the whole, like,
neither do I until he said that.
no, Jonah is someone who, for additional context, like, he thought he had his taser out. It was his 9mm. He shot Rainer.
Mhm.
He immediately put up a senior report. This happened during shift 3. He was out of shift. So I wrote in the senior report, which has since been, I think, promoted to command. It was a little while ago, but you know, it's not like he was doing it with malicious intent, and we resolved the situation at hand. It wasn't ideal, but again, we all make mistakes. Ain't no one immune. I'm sure one day I'm gonna have my 9mm taser moment. Actually, it's gonna be my my 45
Yeah.
taser moment. It's gonna be a heavy heavy taser.
Oh, I shot someone in the hospital who was receiving medical. It happens.
Again, we are
Adapt
all
for it.
human. Did anything come? Like, who was it?
I don't remember who it was. Remy wrote a senior report and dapped me for it. I just straight up said, "Yep, yep." I'll own that. I put my gun away.
Yeah, I think one of the best tools we can use is again, conversing with people.
Yeah.
And if people don't take responsibility, like, that's a big red flag in my opinion. But if someone is willing to admit their wrongdoing and shit, I don't see why we would kick someone while they're already down, you know?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Was this over? I'm sorry, how long ago was it?
It was over a month ago.
Okay. We haven't been sued?
Oh, no.
Okay, good.
No. I don't remember who it was, though.
Good. I do ask that if you are made aware of situations like that, even if there is already a senior report, just bring it to my attention, just so I can take a look at those types of things. I just want to I just want to ensure that, you know, from a liability aspect of things, that all of that stuff is sort of monitored.
Yeah.
It's also an additional tool we can use to be like, okay, this person's being sued, this person's being sued again. Like, is it that those people just don't fuck with them, or they're you know, they doing something wrong?
Yeah. No,
I need to
that's
take a look at command reports. Do you know if we got a food delivery today?
yes, we did.
Perfect. I need to go grab food. What's up?
Okay, question completely unrelated to everything we just spoke about.
Hit me with it.
It's the whole Harry Whalen situation, committing murder, because Harry was my father-in-law. Now, I have since made the choice that what he did, there's no coming back for, and I have completely cut him out of my life.
Okay.
Now, I was made aware of some parallels between yourself and Flop. I don't know if you want to talk about it or anything like that. Just
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm going to say something, and it's going to make me seem like a bad person.
Okay.
I don't like doing this, but unfortunately, it's just how I've always coped with stuff. I don't care if you are blood related. I don't care if you have been my best friend for my entire life. I don't care if you are my parents, aunt, uncle. It doesn't matter to me. If I feel that, for lack of a better term here, I have no problems dropping someone and pretending they don't exist because my coping mechanism is putting blinders on and dealing with what's in front of me. And I know that sounds terrible, but the reality is, if I don't do that, mentally it's going to eat away at me, and then I'm going to... I will quickly be sent over a sort of mental threshold that I've never been sent over before because of how I deal with things. And again, I know it's incredibly fucked up, but when I tell you that I've spoken to Flop 2, maybe 3 times in the past 6-7 months, I genuinely mean that. And those conversations were most of them were a coincidence. Some were about Richard when Richard was very sick. And my response to those messages were very delayed. And there's also just aspects of me that are not great. I'm not good at responding to text messages. I'll tell myself I'm going to right after a call's done, and then it'll be weeks before I look at my text messages again. And I've kind of just acknowledged that, like, most people who know me also know that about me. It's nothing personal. It's kind of just how I've always operated. Like, if you see me, stop me, call me, do something. But I also don't have a problem telling people when I'm at my mental threshold. And, like, I can't deal with other people's problems. Not when my job already consists of dealing with other people's problems on a daily basis. When stuff starts hitting too close to home, mentally, if I know I'm mentally too close to that threshold, I just say, I can't deal with this. Because if I do, I know I'm not going to be in the correct headspace to do my job, which is my means of putting the blinders on and dealing with what's in front of me. Because it's easier, in my opinion, to justify doing my job, you know, because it is so sort of action-packed. And there's always pursuits, and there's always people committing crime. And it's kind of, as fucked up as it sounds, an easy cop-out for me. Which is why my job is kind of my blinders. And as long as I have the job, I'll always have those blinders. But it doesn't really negate from the fact that a lot of shit's happened. And sometimes I'm not there for people when they needed me to be, but the alternative is, if I attempted to be and got sent over that mental threshold, they would then have an additional thing to worry about. And I don't know what that thing is, because again, I'm fairly good at preventing myself from getting there. I'm not immune to it, but if I just don't acknowledge it and just go on with my day and do my job, again, it's sort of an easy cop out for me, and how I've always done it, how I always likely will do it. And you can call me fucked up for it, but it's I don't know. I'm not proud of it.
Yeah.
It bothers me because I feel like there's a lot of things that we should be able to communicate and talk about, but also sometimes some people are too far gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say one last thing. I want it to be clear that when I say no one should ever be surprised, that applies to my family as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Flop.
That's.
I want to. I just so there's no confusion. We told Flop and Ziggy where that line was, and if they crossed it, and Odette, I cannot make this up. Told them straight to their face, you cross that line, I'll pretend you never existed. And I don't want that to happen. And that's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I guess I'm mentally okay with it because they were not surprised because it was communicated to them exactly what would happen if certain things happened. So when I say that applies to every aspect of my life, I genuinely mean it. I don't beat around the bush, Odette. That's not me as a person. Again, I tell people all the time, in sort of a joking way, I'll tell you if you look fat in that dress. I'll tell you if you got something stuck between your teeth. I'll tell you if you got lipstick on your front teeth. Listen, why would I not? While it may be embarrassing, you know what's more embarrassing? Everyone else seeing it and not telling you.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, I just wanted your input because there's similarities in the situation, and I didn't. Although I feel like an asshole for just saying, you know what, that I can't align myself with someone who does things that you do. I, at the end of the day, I am who I am, and they know what they did was wrong, and they know that they crossed the line, and it's once you cross that line, there's no going back.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree with that. I think the reality of that is there's only one thing that will ever potentially resolve that, and that's just time. Because while I think it's unlikely, it is possible for some people to change. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. But it's one of those like only time will tell moments.
Yeah.
And it's not quick. Straight up, it's not. Like maybe they need to realize and experience a life, without you there, to acknowledge that that's the thing they miss the fucking most, to then realize that they need to change their life to, gain that back.
Yeah.
I'm not a never say never kind of person. But like, I mean, murder's a tough one. I ain't gonna lie. In saying that, Flop murdered Anastasia, and
Harry openly admitted to me that he killed Sana because she had threatened me. And then, in the next breath, said that his club asked him to shoot me as retribution so he could stay there, and he again refused, and he in turn got blooded out of his gang, club, whatever.
well, I think there are some parallels in the situation here. I think it's a little different.
It is, and I don't know the ins and outs of your situation with Flop. I just, in passing the other day when we were on that traffic stop in Palomino, I was on the phone, and he mentioned that you were his father and that you no longer speak to him.
Yeah, did you see how quickly he 180'd when he realized it was me?
Yeah, I did.
I'll say this, with the limited context I have regarding your situation, it seems as though obviously this is purely assumption here, but based on what you're saying, it seems he was trying to do what he thought was in your best interests. Because I can tell you now, if these were parallels, I genuinely believe Flop would have shot me.
Yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow, I'm sure. You know, one thing Flop said to me, he said, I don't know if Rhodes would ever agree or feel the same way, but I still love him. And that was interesting. I'm sorry if you didn't want to hear that, but yeah.
It's one-sided.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't want to hear it. It's just in your situation, it seems as though, again, Harry was doing things in an attempt to protect you, despite you not wanting it, and took a terrible fucking option
Yeah.
in an attempt to ensure that you didn't get hurt, right? In my situation, in one of my follow-up conversations with Flop, actually, let me give you a little more context. The day of the murder, I pulled over Sean McQuillan. And in Sean McQuillan's passenger seat, there was a individual with a motorcycle helmet. Didn't say a word. Told Sean, slow down. The passenger, again, didn't say a word. And I was like, well, who's that? And Sean was just like, oh, it was a friend. A few minutes later, so this was on the northern side of Popular after it merges west, but right before Elgin. I go over to Mission Row, and I see that same vehicle speeding past the brick building directly to your right, through the alleyway. And I don't recall if I saw where they turned, but I saw the exact same vehicle. And then minutes later was the 78 call, whichever call it was. I think it was a 78 call, with her. And Sky called out at some point that an individual matching that description was the person who shot, or something to that extent, and also stated that she saw Flop go into Milton's mods, change, and come back dressed in that, or vice versa. He was either in that before, changed to his normal clothes, then like fixed a car or something. A context being here that she sort of indirectly confirmed that that was Flop in the passenger seat. He also twatted after the situation, and it was a very clear cut. This is not the same Flop that I knew at all. And in one of those follow-up conversations, which happened a few months ago, it was during Elena's mayorship up north. It was interviews for like sheriff. I was around, and she called me. She called Flop as well. Flop, she didn't have the context between Flop and I. But when I walked out, Flop had a conversation with me and made it clear that he was the one who made those decisions. And I don't believe that to be the case. I think Flop is loyal to a fault. I think Ziggy joined the ADMC as a was it treasurer? And when I say no one should ever be surprised, I'll tell you the conversation we had. We're on the rooftop of Polito at his house, where it was Edda, Ziggy, Flop, Maple. Was it Maple? I don't know. It was so long ago. We're talking like well over a year at this point. And I want to say this was after Flop had already left PD. Or even during PD, because we had multiple conversations regarding it. But I pretty much said exactly what I said before. There is a line, and once that's crossed, I have no problems pretending you never existed. And I don't want that. Ziggy kept saying things like, with his position, he'll never be in a bad spot or be forced to do anything that he otherwise wouldn't. And I, number one, never believed that because, I mean, much like what you're saying, right? Harry gets told to do something. The reality is he either does it or he's the one who dies. And that's how it works in MCs. You're on a totem pole, and if you're not at the very top, whoever's beneath you follows through with whatever order they're given, and it's never something easy. It's challenging to question your loyalty to the club. And I pretty much said, listen, as long as you don't cross that line, as long as Flop is not dragged in, we won't have any problems. We will have no problems, except eventually Flop left PD. He started hanging out at Milton's Mods. He started hanging out with the ADMC. And do I know why? No. Not at all. I've had conversations with Sean McQuillan. Funnily enough, is the whole, murder case situation that I was referring to earlier. And he tried playing mind games, saying that he would never push someone to do something they wouldn't want to do and stuff like that. Anyways, fast forward. Flop tells me everything he did, he wanted to do. And I know that's not the case. I know that when TJ left the PD and joined the BBMC years ago, in order for him to get into the BBMC, he had to kill a cop. That was the MC's way of verifying, essentially, that they're done with that life. And so when Flop did it, to prove that he is no longer a cop and he's done with that life, he didn't do it because he wanted to. He did it because he had to. Now, do I know if anything was being held above his head or Ziggy's head? Not a clue. But it doesn't change the fact that he did it. He never asked for help on a way out. And while sure, he's taking responsibility for it, it's one of those impasses, in my opinion. Do you have food by chance?
No, I do not.
Okay, I'll go grab some in just a minute. But long story short, again, in that conversation, he made it very clear it was his choice, and I pretty much ended the conversation with, "I think you think it was your choice, but it wasn't," and I stay firm on that stance today. Yeah, that's kind of it.
Okay.
So while there are some parallels, if that's your personal threshold and you want to cut him off for good, I don't want to say that that's a bad decision. I will just ask you to consider, and again, this is from the outside looking in, that I don't want to say this, it wasn't done with malice. In my situation, Flop can sit there and say he still loves me, but it's hard to believe that when he simultaneously tries telling me, which it's either a lie or something else is entirely true, that it was his decision. I firmly believe that to be a lie, but if it's not a lie, then it's not the same Flop, and therefore it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
In your situation, everything he did was seemingly, maybe not factually, but seemingly for the betterment of you and trying to ensure you didn't get hurt. And I think that is far different than, like, yes, 100% you can be upset with him. But I don't know. Let me reframe this. I don't necessarily think you should push someone away permanently who only wanted you to not get hurt. Because, not that you're responsible for this, but I think the likelihood that that leads them down a different path is fairly high. And ultimately, again, if he had two options, that being, you know, your hello,
Koski.
you were the club. I'm just saying, he picked what I wished Flop would have.
Yeah. No, that's valid.
But unfortunately, he didn't. And that's why I'm comfortable in saying I can pretend he's never existed.
Yeah.
Obviously, everything with what you're dealing with is sort of fresh, but I don't think it's, the territory in which things can never be revisited. Maybe you need some time. Listen, we live in a world where an overwhelming majority of people are criminals, or do criminal things. I'm not of the mindset that, like, just because I'm a cop, I can't befriend individuals who are criminals and do things. I can fully disagree with that and still know that, like, there's mutual respect if we were to go out and do something outside of the capacity of my job. Like, so in saying that, again, everyone has different thresholds. You figure out where yours is, you figure out what you're comfortable with, but definitely take into account that if parallels were drawn, that's the end decision that he made is what I wished, had Flop have gotten to that same fork in the road, he would have picked, because the alternative was going to be considerably worse.
Yeah.
I have to go grab food before I pass out.
We're all good. I appreciate you. Thank you for chatting.
No problem. Anytime, Odette.
Have a good one.
Unicorn, thank you for the raid. I hope you had a wonderful stream. We're going to pass out. All right, we're not dead. You want to know the crazy thing? I don't know if Chris was streaming the conversation that was had in Grapeseed, but the crazy thing is the reason Flop was going to show up, he did stream it? Okay. The reason Flop was going to show up was well, not the reason. He found out it was Brian Knight who was applying to become the sheriff. And he didn't want Brian Knight to be the sheriff because Brian's the one who killed Cody. And I'm going to say, funnily enough, Rhodes didn't bring that up at all. The blinders were on. The bittersweet irony, it's so true.
Bozo Street Racing.
What was that?
Bozo Street Racing.
Oh,
Just text me
jeez.
and admitted to it.
We're just playing.
In the 80 from the 90 Bravo, I guess left Sabanalta. Do we stay back and secure the store?
Yeah, I can keep eyes on this for a bit if you want to just secure it, make sure it's all good.
Yeah.
We're continuing southbound Alder Street. Coloured jugular.
Why?
There's a rich stone, I think it was. Slowing left, eastbound. I got fucking local. They're eastbound San Andreas.
That's a mood.
Left northbound Elgin, stand by. Northbound Elgin passing up a pillbox.
I don't know why
Following
this
left for
happens.
Westbound occupation. Left southbound power.
There we go. Just
Left
cloud.
eastbound Swiss.
I don't know.
Northbound Elgin. Left westbound occupation.
I think Trey would have been hilarious. And I miss Trey. I haven't spoken to him out of character in so long.
Slowing.
Holy fuck.
Taking off, continuing eastbound.
I'm not kidding when I say several times over the past 2 months I've been meaning to send him a message and it just completely skipped my mind, so I'm sending him one right now before I fucking forget. Holy fuck.
Slowing right westbound San Andreas. Vehicle slowing, it's going through the skate park here. Down to Vespucci. Vespucci westbound, left southbound Prosperity. To the second hump all the way to Palomino. Left eastbound Palomino. Vehicle 50 to outside the apartments. It's taken off again. LSBN. Right eastbound Vespucci.
Oh yeah. 100% Prolus. I don't know if we're doing WoW today. We were supposed to be doing a second session on Sundays,
Right southbound Alta.
but I don't know if it's being done today.
Good, it's code for.
I was still in pursuit of this vehicle, southbound Alta Street.
Yeah, 281 touching. The save was open, paycheck secured.
A firm and northbound Power. Right, heading through storage lockers here. Going to be exiting back out Power Street. Southbound, then back into the storage locker. Coming back out westbound again. Yep. westbound through the storage lock. It's going to be exiting power, standby direction.
Left southbound. Right westbound Innocence.
Barely hear you on the radio, by the way.
What's up, Roads?
Radio check down.
Hey, how's it going?
Still for sending you
It's
no,
going,
no
it's going.
Innocence
How you
to
doing?
Scala.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I am okay.
Korean Plaza, still no bound.
Sorry, I was just I'm rejuicing my advanced
Right, Vespucci.
repair kit.
That's what I'm about to be doing right now.
Listen, I'm holding on to this one for
Crossing
dear
Alta,
fucking
still
life.
on Vespucci.
Damn right. I ain't
Power.
listen.
Elgin,
It took me
pressing
forever to get
right,
one. I ain't losing it.
ticket.
It's been a while since I found one. I found this one on the side of the road.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
Still sending.
Not now.
Vespucci.
Not now. That was before the people knew the tech.
At El Rancho, left northbound. Mirror Park Boulevard.
Are additionals needed?
Yes, please.
Remaining of 2.
90 en route.
The black and coloured jugular at one time. From 24/7 Robin. Currently westbound Bomber Boulevard. Cross medial. Spun out. Taking off westbound again.
281 secondary. The left 7 Alta Street. The left eastbound on Spanish. Passing Emanation.
Oh, we still have to fully repair. Fuck.
Approaching Elgin, setting for right.
Chat, by the way, I thought the
Crossing bridge.
I thought the issue with my car's headlights was gonna be also
No, on Elgin.
my like support battery thing. But no, every other thing is fixed. And then last night I got a good old
Heading east.
headlamp malfunction error.
On Vinewood Park Boulevard. It's people smoking. No, it's not. Now stop on Vinewood Park Boulevard towards Old Casino.
But the replacement headlight has come in. What I don't understand is I don't know which one they're replacing.
Left east, right south on you.
Because both had identical errors.
Then right westward. Off-road towards the baseball field. Might take the jump.
No, it's not fuse related. There's nothing actually wrong with the headlights. They operate
He's doing the jam.
perfectly fine. They faked it. They're merging eastbound Del Perro.
Yeah, eastbound Del Perros. 281. I got you. No worries. Roads. Opposing lane. Back to correct lane. Operating Sandra's exit, and he's not taking it. No 7 Del Perro freeway. Taking Elysian Fields freeway. On the Innocence exit, closing 7 Elysian Fields freeway.
Hard brake. Disregard.
On the brakes, still sending south, 1 Elysian straight towards Red Bridge. Now westbound on the Elysian Fields freeway. We have 3 units. You can attach. Passing the exit for Altuna, now westbound towards Miriam Overpass. Our next interception point would be Dutch London, Innocence, or maybe Palomino. Approaching the Dutch London exits and by. He's taking it left to west, and now no, Dutch London Street, past the Rogers Scrapyard.
Oh.
Sticking for Calan, no bound. Past the petrol station. Crossing Adam's Apple, Lindsay. On the brakes, crossing Vespucci, Sonoma on the Calan towards San Andreas, left westbound. Right northbound on Palomino, might take a squeeze here. He doesn't. Right east Castaway. Crossing Rockport, 8 Milton. into the tunnel